Hi everyone, welcome to Niffer's Critters. I wanted to film a quick intro for the video coming up. It is a video that I filmed a few months ago. I think it was probably at the beginning of the year. And it features my turtle Sam and my African house snake Nilu and my cat Jovi, who was just in the frame but jumped away. And I talk a little bit about the story of how I got my turtles and also a little bit about Jovi's story and some turtle advice that I have. I do apologize, the first half of the video is a bit quiet. I think I must have had my hand covering the microphone button, but hopefully you can hear it okay, and I will put captions on it just in case. And also excuse any reflection in my glasses in this intro. I couldn't find an angle that doesn't have reflections in my glasses. But anyway, I will also be posting a video soon about Western painted turtle care, so watch out for that, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hi everyone, welcome to Niffer's Critters. This is Sam. He is my 26-year-old Western painted turtle. And this here is Nilu, my female black African house snake, who is on the move. My phone kept dying when I was trying to make a video earlier, so I had it on the charger, and she, of course, when the phone was on the charger, was being nice and patient, and then as soon as my phone was done charging enough, she started to get a little more squirrely, so oh well. Such is life. At least being more squirrely, you can see more of her iridescence. Black African house snakes can change their color. Sometimes they're really dark black color, and sometimes they're more of an olive green, and sometimes kind of grayish. But no matter what color she's displaying, when the light hits her right, she's got a really pretty blue iridescence, and it shows up even better in person. And if you wonder why my turtle tank is not full all the way, it's because one of my 40-gallon breeders sprung a leak, or busted a seam, and leaked 10 gallons of water onto my floor while I was upstairs. Thankfully, I was home, otherwise it all would have ended up on the floor. And I realized it's because the carpet over by the wall is nice and plush, because it's never really been walked on, and the carpet where the front of the stand sits is smushed. So with the way that it tilts forward just a little bit, if I have the tanks full all the way, it puts too much pressure on the front of the tank. So I don't keep them full right now. I have to think of a solution for that problem. I don't know if I need to just put something underneath the front of the stand or what. My hope was to put heat and air conditioning in the sunroom, or at the very least heat, so that I could have the turtles in there, and then that carpet is like super flat carpet, or putting hardwood floors down, and then hopefully then the turtle tanks would be level, because the floor would be level again. So we'll see. That's kind of one of the things I want to work on this year if I stay here. Yeah. In addition to breeding this lady, I have to check her weight. I don't know what she weighs right now, and then I have to figure out what the weight is for breeding, to see when I can start that project. But first I need to get an incubator. Sam, he used to live with, well, in the very beginning he lived with his hatchmate Maximus, but then Maximus started being aggressive towards him and permanently injured his eye, and we caught Maximus trying to drown Sam, which was pretty awful. So they had to be separated, and this was like back before Google, so I really didn't have any good resources for information. So I thought it was that they were both males and both the same kind of turtle and like territorial. So later on, when we got Logan, my red-eared slider, who was from a very bad situation, he was 3 years old and the size of a hatchling, because they were not providing any UVB, any heat lamp he didn't have any water. It was terrible. But, so he was smaller than Sam. And they lived together for about 10 years peacefully until Logan started bullying Sam. And Logan had gotten really big, and it just wasn't worth it to risk Sam getting injured. He did get a scratch on his face and is missing a toe, which I'm pretty sure was from Logan. And I like to be honest about that, because cohabiting turtles really isn't something that is recommended unless it's in a really large naturalistic type habitat like a pond. And you gotta really know what you're doing and make sure that you provide everything that they need for them to be able to like hide from each other and whatnot. So Garden State Tortoise is a really good resource for turtle information and tortoise information, and they have some really nice ponds outdoors that they keep their aquatic turtles in. Yeah, so don't cohab turtles unless you really know what you're doing and can provide the right kind of habitat for them. And also, don't take turtles out of the wild. I did find Maximus and Sam as hatchlings. I was at the beach with a client from the group home, and he was on the swing, so I was just kind of digging in the dirt because I was bored, and dug up these 2 little hatchling turtles, and I didn't know what to do with them. I didn't know if they were okay to be released. So I called various nature centers around. I didn't know that the Wildlife Rehabilitation Center existed, otherwise I would have called them, and just out of lack of knowing what to do with them and if they were safe to be released when they were that tiny, I just ended up keeping them. And then come spring, I thought about releasing them, but then I'm like, well, what if they're too acclimated now to me as a human? So I just ended up keeping them, and that was 26 years ago, 26 and a half years ago. And they're doing really well. I've never had any major health problems with them. They've been healthy and happy and very friendly and very cute, and I love them to death. But I do definitely recommend that if you find hatchlings or wild turtles, that you just, if they're in the road, help them across the road in the direction they're facing. Otherwise, just leave them alone and let them be wild, because like if these guys had been females, the females get absolutely gigantic, and I wouldn't have been able to keep them. They need to be in a pond. Also, I don't recommend getting a red-eared slider from a pet store, because they don't tell you how big they're going to get, and red-eared sliders really should be in ponds as well. My red-eared slider, I don't have space for a pond, and I had no idea how big he was going to get, but I mean, he's in a better situation than he was in, so, and then I'm going to try and upgrade him this year so he can be in even better of a situation. But just be very responsible and make sure that you know what you're getting into when you get a turtle. They can live a very long time. These guys could live, 45 years. And at the time that I got them, I was married and I had good health. Now I'm not married and don't have good health and disabled, and it's harder to take care of them all by myself with my disabilities, and nobody wants turtles. The rehoming turtles is really hard, and a lot of rescues don't even take aquatic turtles. So just if you really want a turtle and you really know what you're getting yourself into, and you know that you can provide for them, and you are willing to do what it takes to continue to provide for them throughout their entire life, go for it. But don't impulse buy a turtle, and don't take turtles from the wild. If you find an injured one, look for a wildlife center or a vet that you can take it to. But generally speaking, it is not recommended to take turtles from the wild and keep them as pets. Right? This is Joey, my rescue kitty. She's very pretty, and she's telling me it's dinner time. Here's Nilu, who decided to settle down again for a little bit. She's really pretty. She's doing a lot better with handling, if I didn't mention that already. She had done really well at first, and then she got kind of skittish and shy but now she's doing better, especially since I realized that she does better if I take her away from her enclosure when I'm handling her. If I'm anywhere near her enclosure and she knows it, she just wants to go back into her enclosure and hide. But she's been hanging out. She gets explorative, and then she settles down for a little bit, and then she gets explorative again, and occasionally gets a little too squirrely, and that's when I know that she's ready to be done. Yes, I hear you, ma'am. I hear you. You're very sweet. Let's see if I can get a better angle so I can focus on you. She was at the shelter, Jovi. She was at the cat shelter for over a year, and nobody wanted to adopt her. I say she was meant to be mine. I'd been looking at her picture on there for a really long time and just kept thinking, gosh, why is no one adopting her? She's so pretty. And there was just something about her that, you know, I was drawn to her, and finally I decided to go meet her when I saw that it had passed the year mark of her being there. And the second I looked at her face, I was hooked. I knew I had to bring her home. And she was really shy for the first month that she was here. She hid under the bed, and it took her a really long time to acclimate to me. But once she did, she embraced the house cat life. And she's super affectionate and super sweet and a little bit sassy, and I love it. She was a feral cat, and she had been trapped and spayed and returned to the colony, but then trapped again and treated for a respiratory infection. And I don't know if that's why she ended up, look at her cute little white toes. I don't know if that's why she ended up in the shelter, or if it's because there were just too many feral cats that they were trying to gather up some for adoption. But I am surely glad that she ended up in the shelter, and I'm glad that she waited for over a year for me to bring her home, because I absolutely love her, and she makes my life better, as all of my animals do. Even when they drive me nuts. I love her little toes. She has white toes on 3 of her feet, and then on one leg she's got a whole black sock. It's very cute. Is it dinner time, madame? Miss Bean. I call her Bean. Miss Bean. Hello, Miss Bean. You're so pretty. Yes, you're so pretty. Her nickname, I named her Jovi, because she would come out. I put a camera in the room that she was in, and she would come out at night, and I would see her on the camera acting all crazy and having fun with her toys, even though as soon as I went in there, she'd go back under the bed. But when I saw how jovial she was being, I decided to name her Jovi, which means joy. But I called her Jojo Bean as a nickname, and then that just turned into Bean. So I mostly call her Bean. She doesn't even respond to the name Jovi. Are you getting squirrely? Are you ready to be done? Should I put you back? She says, yes, please. Don't go onto the floor. There are cats on there. There are cats and dogs on the floor. You don't want to go down there, miss. All right. I think she's ready to be done. So I'm going to go put her back now, and I'm going to feed the fur babies and then feed myself. I hope that you all have a wonderful day and enjoyed my stories and my turtle advice. And we will talk to you later. Have a lovely week. Bye. Say bye, Jovi. Bye, Miss Bean. She sees the snake now.